Good. Hello, everybody. Welcome to Popping the Popcorn. I'm your host, Katie, and today I'm here with my honorary guest host, Jay. He's been on Corella with me and also a Harry Potter episode. And I would also like to give a shout out to my two new Patreons. I just started a Patreon page. You can go to www.patreon.com/poppingthepopcorn. And you can help support the show if you would like to do that. I want to shout out Amy and Dana from the Run Eat Drink podcast, and Josh. How are you doing, Jay?
I am fantastic. Happy Friday night.
Happy Friday night. And today's episode, today is episode 8, and we will be talking about episode 8 or 9. I don't even know.
We're like, I don't even know the numbering of my own show sometimes, so don't feel bad.
And tonight we will be talking about Doctor Who. Jay knows more about Doctor Who than I do, so I will be asking Jay some questions, and we'll just have fun. It will be a fun episode. I hope you guys all enjoy. So, Jay, what's your favorite episode of Doctor Who?
Oh gosh, that one is really tough. You know what? I'm going to go to my standby answer for that, which is The Girl in the Fireplace from Series 2/Season 28. David Tennant's first season. It's when he meets Madame de Pompadour through the spaceship, and it's a love story, and it's beautiful, and I get emotional. That one makes my little heart go pitter patter.
Right? Yeah, I've seen parts and bits of that episode, and I thought it was cute. I thought it was a cute episode.
Yeah, it's a great episode. You know, it's one of those. I think if you're going to show somebody this show for the first time, it's a great starter because it's a time travel story, it's a future story, it's a historical. And it kind of runs the gamut of emotions without getting too sci-fi. Plus, a horse on a spaceship. How often does that happen?
Right? That's really interesting. A horse on a spaceship. That's interesting.
And that horse comes back for the 50th.
Oh, nice.
He's the same horse that he's riding with Queen Elizabeth.
Oh, that's really cool. So... who is your favorite Doctor, or what's your favorite character?
So a lot of people a lot of people have like a favorite Doctor. I don't. My favorite Doctor is the Doctor. At this point in my fandom, I don't care what face the Doctor has on because it's the same character. It's the same soul in a new skin suit, and so like my loyalty is to the character.
Right.
I don't care. My favorite thing about the show, it doesn't matter what era, what decade, what actor you're watching. You're always watching the same show. I was just watching, I was a bit on a First Doctor kick. I was watching some First Doctor episodes in black and white from 1966. And it's the same character. It's David Tennant's character in just a much younger version. And it doesn't matter where you are. It's always the same person. Does that make sense? Am I rambling?
No, it makes perfect sense. Hey, you can ramble on. I don't care. I'll listen to you all day.
I could probably ramble on for the next 6 hours about Doctor Who.
But yeah, my favorite one is Matt Smith. I also like David Tennant, so they're both kind of like, because David Tennant's more like the serious Doctor, I think, and Matt Smith is more like the fun Doctor. That's what I get.
Tennant is definitely like the emo version of Tigger.
The emo Tigger, that's funny.
And what I love about watching Tennant perform is because he was such a massive fan of the show growing up. He's a true fan. And so like his Doctor is a combination of 4 and 5. You can see that in when he's acting. But what I love about him is watching how much fun he has in the role. And what Smith was so good at is even though he was so young, he was so good at playing the old man in a young body. There were times where I really saw the William Hartnell Doctor or the Patrick Troughton Doctor in Smith.
Gotcha. Yeah. I also like David Tennant as an actor, he's such a brilliant actor, I think, in my opinion. I really liked him in Harry Potter. He's in the fourth series to Harry Potter. And he plays a really good Buddy Crouch Jr. and the what is it? I'm drawing a blank. The fourth one is the Goblet of Fire.
Yes.
Sorry, I couldn't think of it. But yeah, and then I also liked him with The Good Omen with him in it as well with
yeah, he was the
demon.
The demon, yeah.
And then the guy that plays Watson and Sherlock on the BBC as well.
Yeah.
I forget what his name is. Martin something.
Martin oh my god, I went blank. See, this is what happens on Friday night when we're all done with work.
Right, exactly. He wasn't he in an episode of Doctor Who as well? I think he was.
Has he been? I don't think he's been in one yet.
I think he wants to, maybe.
I think he'd be great in the show, anywhere he wants to be.
Right, yeah.
Why can't I think of his last name? Now it's driving me crazy.
I know, I hate when that happens. But I also liked Matt Smith's character in that one because he's just like a fun doctor and he just says these off the wall stuff and I'm just like, did he really just say that sometimes?
I get a lot of comparisons because I too have flappy hands. So there's that great bit in the 50th when he's talking and John Hurt goes, "Can you speak without your hands flapping about?" No, yes, no.
That's so funny.
That's me. Yeah. That's totally me.
And what do you think of the doctor's sidekick, the girl from England or wherever she's from, London?
Which girl? Because he's had a long line of lady assistants.
The first one, I forget what her name is. The blonde girl.
I love Rose. I think Rose is everyone's favorite companion from the new series.
Yeah.
Mine is Martha. If I had to pick one companion as my absolute favorite companion from the new series, Martha from the new series and both from Mona's for the old series.
Gotcha. Yeah, I haven't seen any of the old series from like the 60s on. I have not seen any of those.
They are so... What's great is they hold up today. Like I said, I was watching 3 episodes from 66 last week. And yes, it is as low budget as it gets, but you're not there for the special effects. You're there for the imagination and the story and the actors. It doesn't matter when. They're going to sell it to you. Because British actors are always better than just Americans. Just that, you know.
Oh, well. Hey, a tidbit. There you go, people. But I also like the Doctor Who universe because it brings you into the sci-fi world, like stuff you've never seen before. Like these weird creatures like the Daleks, I think is such a weird creature in the Doctor Who series.
And they are really, what's funny is I don't think we in the States really appreciate it, how much they're a part of the British subconscious now. There would be no Doctor Who if it weren't for the Daleks. They were the second story in 63, and they shot up to 10 million viewing figures overnight.
Wow.
And they are what saved the show and what has kept the show going. They're not my favorite villain, but people look at them and think they're robots.
Yes, that's what I thought. It was a robot. Yeah,
they were created by Terry Nation, and at the time they were created, they were still very, very angry at the Nazis. What a Dalek is, it's not a robot, it's a tank. And there's a space Nazi that has been mutated into a squiddly, lumpy form and locked in that tank from birth to death.
Oh, wow. I don't think the episode that I seen, it was like one of the first episodes with Chris, the doctor that I don't like, the rude doctor. I think it was one of the first few episodes, and they encountered the Daleks, but I don't think it opened. I just think it was just like the machine part of it.
I think that episode with Eccleston, it's called Dalek. It's from series 1/season 27. And it really shows how frightening a Dalek can be, because that one Dalek on Earth could kill all of us. Every
Wow.
single man, woman, and child on this planet.
Sounds something like World of the Wars or something.
Yeah.
World Wars, or however you say that movie with Tom Cruise in it.
War of the Worlds.
Yeah. It sounds like that movie.
And and they've been bred. They've had, because they used to look just like us, like humans, but they through nuclear war, they've been mutated down. And then there was a madman named Davros who mutated them into these little squiddly lumps and took all emotion but hate from them. And so they are the sci-fi answer to the Nazis. They only want the purest race to survive, and they're going to kill anything that isn't the purest race, which is them.
Gotcha. Yeah, who's your favorite super villain in Doctor Who?
My favorite villain is the Master.
I haven't seen any episodes with him yet.
Oh, you're going to love the Master. The Master is the Doctor's best friend. They grew up together on Gallifrey. They went to the academy together. And where the Doctor went out seeking adventure and hope, the Master likes to kill and cause mayhem.
Interesting.
And like the Doctor, he's a Time Lord and regenerates, and different actors have played the character over the years.
Right. Yeah, I have not. I'll have to check that out. I don't. What season is that on?
Well, the Master started in 1971 during John Pertwee's second season, season 5 of the original show. And he is kind of the Moriarty. He was designed to be the Moriarty to the Doctor's Sherlock, the dark, shadowy reflection who's always trying to tempt him to the dark, and the Doctor's trying to tempt the Master to the light. They're frenemies. They're besties.
So it's kind of like almost like Darth Vader and Luke.
Not really. It's a real different kind of push and pull. Like the Master's golden age was those John Pertwee episodes, and then he changed, and he was gone for most of the 1970s. He was back for almost all of the 1980s. He was back for the movie. He didn't come back on the new show until the Tennant's run, and now he's been played by 3 different actors in the current series. So the show ran from 1963 to 1989, and that is what's called the classic show. There was the TV movie in 1996, and then the show came back in 2005, and it's been going to today. And it's all one show, listeners. That's the thing. It's not a different show. It's the same show, same story, spread across all these decades.
Wow. Yes, that's a very long time. I was like, I think on another podcast episode, I said there's like 30, 40 seasons to Doctor Who.
We are on season 39 right now. Season 40 is what's coming out in October.
What do you think of the Girl Doctor? I don't know if you've seen any episodes of the Girl Doctor. What do you think of her?
All of them. I love her. She is so fun in this role. Every Doctor's personality is a reaction to the last regeneration. So whereas she was a grumpy Scotsman before with the short temper, now she's kind of out for fair play for the whole universe.
I think it's really cool because before it was just like a boys' club with Doctor Who. Everybody was a boy. So I think it's pretty cool that they had a woman doctor. And we need more women like power in the world. So I think that was actually really cool that they decided to put a girl doctor in there.
Yeah, I mean, and the Doctor can be anything. I mean, the Doctor doesn't just have to say a white male. The Doctor can be any gender, any color, any race, anything. Right. It's an alien.
Right. Mark's texting from the other room, and he asked, "What about Captain Jack?"
I love Captain Jack Harkness. Can we talk about Torchwood and just how much I love Torchwood?
Is he? I don't know if I know who he is.
Okay, so Captain Jack was a companion to the 9th and 10th Doctors. He is in series 1 / season 27 with Christopher Eccleston. He comes in towards the end of the season. And he's kind of a mainstay. He just did an episode last season with the Girl Doctor, Jodie Whittaker. Jack is a fun character. Jack is a flirt with everyone, man, woman, alien, or human.
Wow.
Jack is a great hero. He starts out a con man and becomes a leader of a team on Earth trying to hunt down alien artifacts and save Earth. Whereas the Doctor runs around the universe, Jack stays on Earth and saves Earth through Torchwood.
Gotcha. Yeah, and that's what he's on, right? He's on Torchwood. That's a spinoff. That's a spinoff to Doctor Who, right?
Yeah, and unlike Doctor Who, where Doctor Who is for the whole family, Torchwood is Doctor Who for adults. There is swearing, there is killing, there is happy adult times.
Oh no.
It is really for the adult audience. It was on after 9 p.m. But what's great about Torchwood is great drama. Even if you don't like science fiction, the actors know these characters so well and are able to play against each other, more than the director could bring in. It is just fantastic drama. So my all-time favorite female character in any fiction comes from Torchwood, and that's Gwen Cooper. Right.
Yeah, Mark's texting me from the other room, and he said his favorite villain is the Master. Captain Jack's his favorite character. Martha, most unvalued companion. Rose Tyler, the most overrated companion, and 11 River's song is the best pilot twist story. That's what Mark's saying.
Where do you want me to go from here? I like everything he said. River's song. Can we talk about River's song for a second? She is just one of my most favorite characters in the entire almost 60 run of the show. It's his wife. It's his wife, and they're meeting in opposite orders. So as he gets to know her more, she knows him less, kind of a thing. Their timelines are opposite. So every time they meet, it's kind of inching towards her death.
Interesting. That's the Doctor's wife?
Yeah. And what I said earlier about Big Finish, that company that does all the Doctor Who audios, River's song is on there. Captain Jack is on there. Torchwood is on there. And so these characters have these amazing lives outside of the show.
Right. That's really cool that they do stuff like that too, and they make records and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Well.
Yeah. I just got it's the first time they've done David Tennant's Doctor on vinyl, and it's the first 3 episodes. He's recorded a brand new season only on audio, and it takes place after series 4, after Donna's left the show, and before the specials. And it's him dealing with all these losses and kind of not getting over it, but coming to terms with these losses. Like I said, they're only on audio, and I get them in packs of 3, the first 3 episodes, second 3 on vinyl record to listen to. Full cast audio, and there are only 1,000 of each of these records.
Wow, and you're one of the ones that have it.
Yeah, and they sound it. I just love to go to my library, put the record on, sit in my comfy chair, and let it come to life, and just let it be theater of the mind, and whatever my mind can make up. So anything better than on TV.
Right. I was watching. I started to watch the episode where the Doctor's daughter comes in, and I thought that was an interesting episode.
You know what's funny about that episode? She is David Tennant's wife.
Oh, yeah?
But she is also the daughter of the actor who played the 5th Doctor, Peter Davison.
Interesting.
So the Doctor's daughter married the Doctor and then had the Doctor's daughter, which is also the Doctor's granddaughter in real life.
Interesting. That's like an interesting twist.
Yeah, only in Doctor Who could you have something like that.
Right? It almost sounds like incest, almost. Type of thing. You know what I'm saying? It almost sounds like it.
But it's just funny. So you've got a real family now that is both part of the classic and the modern run.
Right. How old is the Doctor? Do you know?
Nobody knows. The Doctor lies.
He lies about his
The
age.
Doctor lies about his age. We he's been saying 2000 since the last regeneration, but the fourth Doctor calls himself 750. The seventh Doctor calls himself 600. The 10th Doctor calls himself 900. There is a whole time war in between. With one, we have no clue.
Right.
The Doctor says his age, and we just go, sure, Jan.
Right. He likes to lie.
Rule 1: the Doctor lies.
I was watching the first David Tennant episode today,
Mm-hmm.
and I do not like that episode. It's weird, like because there's like this like piece of skin in this like lab type of thing, and it's just
Lady
weird.
Cassandra.
Yeah, and it was just like weird, and then the character looked like I don't know what he looked like, a cheetah or something, some kind of weird like
her assistant Chip.
Yeah.
Yeah. What's great about that story is that is an example of classic Who in the modern series. That is David Tennant's first episode after taking over completely from Eccleston. And so for the audience, we had this audience who was experiencing the show for the first time. And like the rest of us, their Doctor had just changed. And to let the audience know it's still the same character, you're in good hands. The Doctor and Rose went up against a villain they had gone up against the prior season.
Gotcha. And then those cat like looking like maid type of things. I was just like, what the heck is that?
The cat knows they will be back.
And I was like, what the heck is this cat looking thing? It's weird. Cat people. I called it cat people.
The cat nun nurses.
Yeah, I called it cat people. I was like, these cat people are weird. And then I started watching the episode where it's the werewolf episode, the second episode. That one was pretty cool.
And you know what? And that one holds up really well. I watched that one not long ago. And that is our first real introduction to Torchwood.
Is it?
That episode ends with Queen Victoria being so angry at the Doctor that she sets up Torchwood to catch him.
Oh, gotcha.
Now I have kind of a weird fan theory.
What is that?
So you know the Crown, not the Crown, Victoria, where Jenna Coleman plays a young Queen Victoria.
Mm-hmm.
Well, she went on to play a companion to both the 11th and 12th Doctors, and her story with the 11th Doctor ends because he's seeing her all over the universe. These splinter copies of her everywhere, all over the universe, running into her. And I have this theory, this crazy fan theory, that young Victoria we see Jenna Coleman play is actually a splinter Clara. So it was an angry Clara that fetched Torchwood off to the Doctor. Interesting
plot twist.
That's my crazy headcanon theory.
Right. And The Crown's a good show. It's a really good show as well.
I haven't watched it yet. I need to.
Matt Smith plays a young Prince Charles in that movie.
I need to go back and watch that. I just watched the last season of The Crown.
And that's really good.
Yeah.
The Crown's really good.
Really does not make you feel any sympathy for the royal family.
Right. I like the episodes with Diana in them.
Yeah, that's actually what I skipped to. I skipped straight to the Diana season to see what went down.
Right. Everybody loves Princess Diana.
Still.
Yeah. But yeah, I also like Doctor Who because you go into the past and you can go into the future in Doctor Who, and that's what I like about it as well.
Yeah. I really think it is a show that has more imagination than any other show in the history of television because it goes anywhere and everywhere. It can be anything.
Right, and it's been on so long too.
Yeah,
unless they took a break in between.
They did. The show went off the air in '89, and then it didn't come back until 2005.
Oh wow, that's a long break.
Yeah, we had the TV movie in '96 in between.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I have to check that out. I haven't seen that either.
TV movies hard to find, but if you look, you can find it. I picked one up on Amazon on Blu-ray for $20, and it's the
Right.
full TV movie and a whole bunch of crazy special features on the second disc.
Oh, nice. Yeah, I'll have to definitely check it out. What do you think of the TARDIS? Like, it's a phone booth, so people, I guess, won't know what it is exactly, like a spaceship. But what do you think of the TARDIS?
I think the TARDIS is the most brilliant, fantastic science fiction ship of all time. Listeners, if you don't know what the TARDIS is, it's short for time and relative dimension in space. And they're these. Well, the Doctor is in the shape of a police box because. Okay, let me get my thoughts in order here. TARDISes aren't built, they're grown. They're living beings with their own consciousness. And they have the ability to travel in time back and forth. And they form a link with their driver. This TARDIS stole a Time Lord and ran away to see the universe.
So stole like a doctor?
Yeah, the Doctor and the TARDIS stole each other and ran away to see the universe together. They're bigger on the inside. What the TARDIS is it's a different dimension on the inside.
Interesting. I just thought it was like a spaceship.
It is a spaceship, but you've got unlimited room. You've got more. It's as much room, as many rooms as you can imagine. It's an endless possibilities inside, and on the outside, what they're supposed to do is when they land, they're supposed to change every time so that you don't notice it. It blends in with this environment. So it could be a column, it could be a cabinet, but the Doctor got stuck and just kind of likes it that way.
Right. I thought it was actually a phone booth. I didn't think it was a police box at first, but I always thought it was a phone booth. But it does say police box on there, and I was like, I'm such an idiot.
Bill calls the Doctor out in the series 10. She calls the Capaldi Doctor out in her first outing. She's like, you like it. Help and assistance attainable immediately. Yeah, that's you.
That's funny. I just sometimes I like the side characters too as well because they bring a lot into the characters as well.
Who's your favorite companion?
My favorite companion is Rose. I like Rose, even though that Mark says she's overrated, but she's my favorite.
I love Rose for what why do I love Rose? I love her heart. I love that she's able to bring the good out in other people.
Oh yeah, and I've also seen the first episode when Chris Erickson finally comes into the Doctor role, and he's in that warehouse with the mannequins and stuff, and that's so funny. That scene's so funny.
The Autons. They are so there's this one big bubbly creature, and it controls all of the plastics everywhere.
Oh wow. And I just thought that was interesting, and also when he's he was something happens to him and he's passed out on the couch and they don't know what's wrong with him and he's been passed out for several days. That's an interesting episode as well.
Yeah, he's still regenerating. And this is the great gimmick about the show that's kept it going all these years is they switch out the lead actor. When the character of the Doctor is wounded to the point where they're going to die, every cell in their body regenerates and shakes and jumps into a new form. And that's how they replace out the actor. And the actors are able to play it however they want that way.
Right. And I think also the actors in them have some say of what they want to do and stuff too, I think. Because if you see the actors in all the movies, they do somewhat kind of act like their personalities in real life too a little bit, I think.
Oh, Tom Baker, who played the fourth Doctor, we all think Tom Baker was just playing Tom Baker.
Right.
Very big and bohemian and larger than life. And
right.
We didn't think he wasn't acting. That was just him.
What was your favorite Doctor outfit? You know how they all have different outfits?
Ooh, ooh, ooh. I know this is going to be like the most basic answer, but I love Tennant's costume, the suit with the Converse,
Oh yeah,
because
I like that.
that's me. I've always worn Converse with the suit, and
Right.
I want that coat, that brown overcoat he wears. I want that coat so bad.
So which Doctor's personality matches yours?
Um, I would think if I had to, Doctor am I think on the inside I'm more like the 12th Doctor, but on the outside I think I'm a bit more. I want to say third Doctor because he's the coolest.
He's the coolest Doctor, the third
He's
one.
the coolest. He was the James Bond one in the Austin Powers outfits doing judo.
I haven't seen the third Doctor. I've only seen the episodes from David Tennant to Matt Smith.
Oh, okay. You know what? And for you and for the listeners alike, if you're gonna just go back and watch, just try to get a feel or a flavor of classic Who, I really recommend the third Doctor's era. The show had been shaken up at this point. The Doctor was stranded on Earth. He couldn't use the TARDIS. He was taken by a military organization called UNIT. So there's a cast, there's a location. It doesn't go week to week, different crazy places. And it's just good fun Doctor Who.
Right. Mark started watching in the 5th season, so that was Matt Smith.
Right.
That's when he started listening to it because he was telling me, because we were talking about it earlier today, and he was telling me that he started watching it in the 5th season with Matt Smith, and then he went back over and watched all the other ones.
Oh, cool. Yeah, I really think everyone who, if you guys love Doctor Who, don't be afraid to they're really, really good. There's a lot to chew on right there. Just don't go into it for special effects or for modern filmmaking because one of the interesting things I've noticed about watching the show through the decades is you get kind of a snapshot in time of not only what TV looked and sounded like, but what we thought the future was going to look like. Right. It's really interesting to see the future of the past, kind of like the ride Horizons.
I've never been on that ride. Or if I do remember that ride from Walt Disney World, I was like really little.
I never got to go on it. It's my Great White Whale Horizons.
Yeah, I might have been, because that was like in the 90s, right?
Yeah, it shut down for good in 98.
Yeah, I was probably a kid when I went on that ride. And well, it's not really a ride. It's more of a walkthrough, I think.
Well, Horizons was... It was like the Haunted Mansion meets Peter Pan, where you've got a dune buggy on an overhead track.
Oh,
and
okay.
It took you through like the first part of the ride took you through what we thought the future was going to look like in the past.
Mm-hmm.
And that was kind of one of the cool things was seeing all this stuff that's a little laughable at the time.
Right.
We could do like a 3-hour Horizons extravaganza if you want. I could like talk forever about a ride I never went on. But I have deep feelings for.
Right? Yeah, everybody knows, our listeners know we're Disney people, so we're gonna throw some Disney in there.
It's gonna happen. I wish Disney would make a Doctor Who ride though.
Yeah, but Disney doesn't own Doctor Who.
I know, but they don't own Pandora.
They own Pandora, technically.
Technically, you know what? It's kind of like the old Lucasfilm licensee dealing back in the 90s, where eventually they'll just eat them up. There's a UK pavilion. How hard is it to give us a Doctor Who ride with every single Doctor?
Right? Maybe someday, or maybe Universal might take over that other park we don't talk about.
That great park we don't talk about. That wonderful, awesome park with amazing roller coaster.
No, I actually like Universal, but I just say that. Because of Harry Potter, that's why I like Universal. But I also like Universal because they used to have Jaws, and I really like that ride.
I really wish Jaws was still there in some form. The one in Orlando was awesome.
Yeah, it was. I went to Halloween Horror Nights. There's a story about the Jaws ride. So we went to Halloween Horror Nights. This was Sweet 16 Halloween Horror Nights, right? And Jaws was still there. So we went on Jaws, and when we came out, there was these chainsaw guys waiting for us to come out of the ride, right? And this kid like trips and falls, and the guy goes out of character and goes, "Are you okay?"
Oh,
Because he was so scared. He wasn't expecting a chainsaw guy right there at the end of the ride.
you know what? By Halloween Horror Night 16, you gotta expect chainsaws everywhere. Sorry, dude, your fall was on you.
Hold on one second. My
Oh,
dad's
yeah.
my dad's calling. You could just talk. Hold on.
Okay. Hey everyone. So
Hello?
Katie's off to answer the phone.
Hey, no.
So I'll give you a quick rundown of old Doctor Who.
No, I'm off.
Um,
I'm just...
how the greatest show ever came into being. It was supposed to be a tea time historical, learn something for the kids show, and has become over almost 60 years the world's greatest sci-fi story ever told. Greater than Star Wars, greater than Doctor Who. It's about someone with ultimate privilege and two hearts who runs around trying to make the world a better place for other people and asking nothing in return and just leaving once they fix things. Sometimes things go well, sometimes things go wrong. Sometimes we get our hearts broken, sometimes our hearts are elated. It is honestly my favorite thing in the world. You should watch Doctor Who and watch all of it. The first Doctor from 1963 to 1966. There isn't much there. A lot of it has disappeared over the years, but what you can find is brilliant. Second Doctor, 1966 to 1969. Love his first two seasons. Last season's a little wonky. That's why we got regenerated to the third Doctor from 1970 to 1974. 5 seasons. John Pertwee is perfect. He is a scientific James Bond with an attitude. Fourth Doctor, Tom Baker, from 74 to 81, 7 seasons, was the Bohemian Doctor who ran away looking for fun. The fifth Doctor, Peter Davidson, from 81 to 84, 3 seasons, was the sweet one, the nice one. He had a big family around him at all times in his TARDIS. The sixth Doctor, people say they don't like him. I love him. He looks like Joseph in the Technicolor Amazing Dreamcoat with his hideous outfit. But he's kind of like a Time Lord teenager going, this is how I dress now, and this is how I talk now. And he's very loud and very fun. And we have the seventh Doctor, Sylvester McCoy, from 86 to 89. Well, actually, 96, because he was the Doctor all the way until the movie. He was the manipulative one. He was the one with plans and traps. And there was the eighth Doctor. He was in the movie in 96. Paul McGann. Wild Bill in Velvet is what I call him. Hi, Katie. I've just been kind of like a quick little history.
Sorry about that.
No worries. I was like kind of catching the listeners up on the first 8 Doctors.
Oh, okay. That's good. I'll have to listen to it.
I just kind of rambled on.
Right. No, my dad never calls me, so I had to make sure everything was all right. Sorry, guys. This happens on live when you're doing a podcast. Stuff like that happens.
You know what? It's a slice of real life. Whatever happens, happens.
Right. And most of you guys know that I don't know how to edit, so guess what? It's staying in there.
Well, I'm really glad I didn't swear or say anything stupid.
Hey, we all do that sometimes, though.
I was the first person to swear on my show, and it was a double swear, but no one ever heard it. I cut it out.
Right. That's okay, Hey, if I knew how to edit, I would cut it out when my dad called. So, hey, it's okay. My listeners know I don't know how to edit, so just say
I like to leave that stuff in. I know it's like when I listen to stuff, yes, I like production value, but I also like that people are real people. So when stuff like that happens, I find it more endearing.
Right. Well, my listeners know that I'm real with them anyway, because if I start editing now, it will be so funny and weird. They'll be like, "What?" I think to live a little bit of surprise in there. You know what I mean?
I will say one of the advantages of editing though is when my gang says something that I have to cut out, it doesn't disappear. It gets saved to a file somewhere.
Right. And you can use it on them later. No, I'm kidding.
So, I do at the end of the year. I like to do like a big blooper reel.
Oh, yeah, nice. I'm kidding, Grand Circle Tour. You know I love you guys. They know I love them.
We love our listeners.
Yes, and their podcast is all Disney and all the different, also all the different resorts and food and all kinds of stuff. They're really good too. And they're a lot of fun to listen to if you guys ever want to listen to.
What show?
Grand Circle Tour podcast.
Oh, I've heard of them. They're fantastic.
And they also have all kinds of names, and it's really cool. They have different names.
We just have a good time. Like, we just get together and hang out, and we just have fun together.
So, getting back into Doctor Who, what do you like the most about Doctor Who?
I like that it's never the same thing twice. There's that Twilight Zone element to it.
Everybody loves the Twilight Zone.
Yeah. Every week you're going to be somewhere totally different than the last. And you're not confined to any one era. It literally can be anything. We can be on Planet Zorg one week and the next we're in the Wild West with Doc Holliday. Right.
Wow. What happened to the Doctor's planet? Did it get destroyed or does he just not go there?
Well, he thought it had got destroyed. It turns out he finds out he actually saved it. Then he avoids it for a long time. And then the Master shows back up going, ha ha, I killed everyone on our planet again. So the fate of Gallifrey is up in the air. I would really like it if his home planet came back into the show full time. I really like when they would do like law cases on Gallifrey or political things on Gallifrey. I really liked seeing how the justice and political systems on different planets worked. I'm such a nerd.
Right. Hey, well, every planet must have a different like government and society and stuff.
There's a lot of like Gallifreyan society I find really, really interesting because there's Gallifreyans and then there's Time Lords. Everyone on that planet's Gallifreyan, but the Time Lords are the 1% of the 1% on that planet.
So they're rare?
They're the only ones who are allowed to regenerate. They're given the regenerative process. The other people on the planet don't get to live the 13 lives. They get one life, and some of them live out. They just live like anybody else. You have this ultimate 1% who are the 1% of the universe. And I think it's one of the things I really like about the Doctor. It's someone who uses their privilege to run around and help people and make the world a better place for people and doesn't ask for anything and almost never sticks around for a thank you.
Right. And so you said like the Time Lord, so the Doctor is a Time Lord.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah,
and
Time
so
Lord.
He can regenerate into different. That's why he has so many different doctors and stuff because he regenerates.
Right, and there used to be the rule of 13, where the Doctor could only have 13 lives, and we knew they were going to stretch that when the time came, and they did. And they've recently thrown us another curveball with the Timeless Children, which I don't even want to go into right now. But this last season was a doozy, a good doozy, but a doozy. Pulled the rug on us.
The one with the girl?
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah, I don't like there's the Doctor's history, and then every now and then they pull the rug and change the Doctor's history, but it still has to stay canon in some way. They just did that again.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, but there is no official, people get really hung up on things. There is no official canon for the show. The ultimate way to enjoy the show is to just go in and roll with it.
Right, exactly. I like some of the special effects, even though that some of them are like corny, but I still like them.
It's kind of like the charm of the show too. I mean, there was a point back in the 80s where you could see the sets wobbling.
Right.
As the actors walk by, you could see the walls like literally shaking. Right. And it's kind of, you just ignore it. It's like even the news show, you kind of watch it like live theater. Things happen, things are a little janky sometimes, but you're there to watch the actors and the story.
Right. It wasn't like a low budget show back in the day, right?
Crazy low budget. I mean, even to this day, it's still pretty low budget to where, when you see cellophane wrapped around people's hands for makeup, that's how low budget.
Right. But I also like some of the like villains, like their costumes and stuff, how they make some of the costumes and stuff. That's really cool.
Oh, they have some of the most amazing costumes. I love the Cybermen.
I haven't seen them yet.
They have many different origins. But basically, the Cybermen were first invented in the 60s. They were a reaction to people's fears of like artificial hearts, pacemakers, things like that go against our body. So what the Cybermen are people who, from a planet just like ours, who look just like us, who, as their son died, had to hack pieces of their bodies off and replace them with metal pieces to survive. And over time, they lost any humanity.
Wow.
And so at this point, the current Cybermen, basically what they do is they cut your brain out and use your brain as the computer to drive one of their suits. So you're still alive, but you're dead at the same time. I find them really grotesque and really very body horror, very, very frightening. That thought of your brain is still alive, but you're still dead without emotions. You just now live and function as this unfeeling machine.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
That's an interesting like concept. Like I like how the writers like write these like different characters in there, and some of the characters are really interesting.
Who are some of your favorites?
Well, I've only seen like a couple because I just started watching not too long ago. So I like the some of the characters I've seen are just like like the companion people. I like them. And I like the doctors. And then I've only seen like I said, I've seen that weird looking skin lady dude. And then I seen the werewolf, and like he was like a demon, like werewolf type of thing. And then the guy that was like at the window staring at the moon, like mumbling these like weird like words or something.
Yeah,
he was kind of cool. He was kind of cool.
Oh, you've got so much ahead of you. I'm kind of jealous because you're going to see all this stuff for the first time. Wait till you see the Weeping Angels. They are going to frighten you.
Right.
They can only move when they're not being looked at. But when they can move, they're so fast that they can kill you literally in the blink of an eye.
Right. Wow.
And
that's interesting.
One of the fun things is, like the Twilight Zone, they take the small things and they make the small everyday little things and they make them horrifying. Don't blink. Don't breathe.
Right.
There's a whole list. Shadows will kill you. All kinds of crazy things.
Right. But I also like how they just go with stuff. Like they just go, oh, let's try this idea.
Yeah.
And then they just go with it.
It really does. I mean, for me, and I've said it before, I think it has more imagination than anything else ever made on television.
Maybe we should write our own Doctor Who episode.
I would love to. Every year, Big Finish does the Paul Spragg competition where you can write a story, and the winner every year gets their story made into an episode.
That's really cool.
And I have an idea for a story that would cross over two different doctors and two different companions from the past, including Captain Jack. And I'm not going to tell what the story is, but it would take a TV story and a radio story and combine them. And I want to write this down and send it in and see if they'll pick mine.
Hey, if it did, I'd be like, I know somebody famous.
If they did pick mine, I would like every day be like robocalling everyone I know, texting, emailing. My episode's coming out. My episode's coming out.
Right. Hey, I think we could all be like that. Even like like famous podcasters. I'm sure when they were in the beginning, they would be like, "Hey, listen to my episode. Listen to my
Yeah.
episode." You know, I'm sure they were like that or something. You know, like
I'm still like that.
even like famous people, like I'm sure like you see like the Doctor Who characters outside in public or something, and you go, "Oh, that's Matt Smith or that's David Tennant. Oh, let's go meet them." And I'm sure they're like, "Whoa."
You know what? They're all really, really cool about it. There's a convention every year in LA called Gallifrey, and it's a Doctor Who only convention. It's in downtown LA, and it's just the actors from the show. And you can hang out with them in the lobby. It's not like Comic-Con. They're so accessible, and they're so nice, and they actually will do. They're so happy to talk to you.
My friend, she got to meet David Tennant when I guess she went there or somewhere. I'm not sure. I have to ask her, but she actually got to meet David Tennant and take a picture with him.
I am jealous. I'm not gonna lie. I'm jealous.
Yeah, and I guess she got to talk to him for a little bit too, which was really cool.
I usually really cool when I meet celebrities. I think if I met David Tennant, I would be like, "Hey, you're so cool. I like all you do. You're so great."
You would be a fangirl, I think.
I'm a Tennant fangirl. I admit it. I won't lie about that.
Instead of fanboy, fangirl, because, girls go crazy over celebrities.
Yeah. Well, there's this whole thing for a while about Tennant fangirls, and I was like, dude, Tennant, some of us are our boys, and we're Tennant fangirls too. It's not just girls. We all love him. He's great.
Right.
He's my favorite actor in anything of all time. I love Tennant.
Right. Well, I also like David Tennant, how, like, in Doctor Who, he's, like, really young. I didn't even know that he was actually older than what he was, and I was like, wait, he's old? He's that old? I didn't know that.
He'll be 50 soon.
Yeah, I know. I was like, I thought he was younger.
That's just Gen X. We all just look younger and act younger than we really are.
Right. I was just like...
The jilted generation knows no age,
Right. Yeah, and I didn't know, and I was like, interesting, he's that old? And I was like, huh, I would have never guessed that because he looks so young.
Yeah.
He just turned 50 in April.
Yeah. Age is, I'm 45, and I don't feel it. I don't act it. It's really just a number. Like, I know we keep on talking about Doctor Who, but I think the secret of life is not caring about your age.
I don't care. I'm 35, but I don't care about my age. Hey,
it's a gift just to be here. So every day, I'm just happy to be here. So I don't care about the number. It's just the highest number I can get to is like a video game. I win.
So then, when David Tennant did do his episode, because that came out in 2006, I think his episode, he was like 30 something, maybe 40.
I'm not gonna lie. I'd look at David now. It's funny to watch the episodes from those first few series, or even the ones with like Matt and Karen, and like realize how young everyone looks all of a sudden. It's kind of a weird feeling.
Right. Yeah. Like Matt, I think Matt Smith is like my age or maybe older.
Yeah, he was in his 20s when he started.
Matt Smith is 38, so he's a couple years older than me.
Okay. He's the same age as my sister. Oh, sorry, sister.
Oh, well. Sorry. But yeah, he's 38. So he was like in his 20s when he did that.
Yeah, he was the youngest one to be the Doctor.
Wow. That's interesting.
I love his ask once. Somebody asked, "What's the difference between you and the other doctors?" And he went, "I don't have any wrinkles."
That's funny.
It was a great answer.
That's so funny. But all the other doctors were a little older, because even the one with the doctor after Matt Smith, he looks a little older.
Yeah. Oh, he's definitely older. But the Doctor, except for the Fifth Doctor and the Sixth Doctor, the Doctor is like generally an older gentleman, more professor-y kind of person.
Right.
It wasn't until the new era that they really kind of younged the Doctor up.
Right. Even the girl Doctor, she doesn't look her age either.
No, she's only 35.
Yeah, but she does it pretty well. She does that character really well. I haven't really seen her in anything else.
Oh, she's done a lot of great work. I knew she was going to be great in the role because her first episode, she wasn't afraid to stick her finger up her nose.
Right.
And to give a woman that kind of freedom in a role,
right,
which they never do anywhere in Hollywood, you'd be like, just do whatever you're going to do with your finger in your nose and act it out. Just go ahead.
Right.
And she did that scene, and I went, oh, she's perfect.
We're why
for a great time.
That's why I think British shows and British movies are different from American shows and American movies, because British have more more improv acting, I think, than American and actors.
Yeah. What's one of the things I find really interesting about watching the classic Doctor Who episodes is one of the reasons it holds up so well is these are all theater actors. Right. And they're all bringing those theater actor skills. And the way it's shot kind of like for a stage. So anytime you get kind of a slice of a live production, it instantly holds up way more than something that's just shot in a studio at the same time.
Right. And also the CGI in the show, like the newer episodes, you can't tell that it's like really CGI and stuff.
It holds up. I mean, even the ones from like 2005 to on, they all hold up really, really well.
Right. And I think that's what the difference is between British and American shows and movies, is some of their stuff holds up better than American movies and stuff.
And it's funny because it's not because the polish, it's not because it's slicker or better or has better technology. It's the storytelling, it's the acting, it's the way they're able to capture that in time.
I think like almost all the British actors, they do go to like acting. They go to like, every actor goes to acting school, but I think the British ones mostly go into theater, more like in a theater house and stuff like that. I think they're more classically, I guess you would say, like music, you would say classically trained. I guess they're more classically trained or something.
Well, it kind of seems like, to me, it's always seemed like British actors want to act. They want to do this craft, whereas like Hollywood actors want to be famous.
Right.
And so you've got people that really love what they do, and then you've got people that love what they can do for them.
Right. And I also really like with Doctor Who is the visual effects. Some of the visual effects you can't tell. Some of those you can't tell that it's like a TV show. Sometimes I think I'm watching a mini movie, actually.
Yeah. Especially these last few seasons. It's got so cinematic.
Right. And I think it's just interesting how like how the Doctor wants to be on Earth instead of some other planet, which is interesting as well.
Yeah, it's just easy when you're on a short budget.
Right.
It's much easier. It's easier to film down the street than,
He doesn't really go to like other planets or anything, I don't think, right?
Well, it varies. It's some seasons are very Earth-based, some seasons are very science fiction-based, but it's generally kind of a mix of they'll go to Earth and they'll leave and come back. They'll go to Earth, they'll leave and come back. It's really just all about what the budget and the showrunners want at that time. Right.
What do you think of Rose's mom?
I realized when I realized I was the same age as Jackie, I just about cried. I love Jackie Tyler.
Right.
There's nothing about Jackie I don't love.
And then her boyfriend, the black guy, her boyfriend.
Oh, I used to love Mickey Smith. There's been a big controversy with the actor that plays him. And while I love the character of Mickey Smith, I'm very, very mad at Noel Clarke these days. So I'm having to learn that separate character from actor thing.
Right. Yes. Well, I think we all in society have trouble like, okay, this is the actor and then this is them in their personal life.
Yeah.
And sometimes we don't correlate the two.
Well, it's because like it was Doctor Who. I love everybody in it. I love everything about it. Doctor Who can do no wrong. And suddenly, because there's that thing where people go like, well, Woody Allen, I hate him, but I love his movies. I'm having that thing now with Mickey and Noel where now I hate Noel. Somebody I used to really like, somebody who I met, shook hands with, had a conversation with. Noel turned out to be a real big creep and a scumbag. And like I still love the character of Mickey. I'm having to be like, love Mickey, but I have to look at Noel.
Right. Yeah, I like Woody Allen movies too, but like some of the stuff he's done in his personal life.
Right.
You know, but his movies are also kind of weird. Woody Allen movies are kind of weird too.
Oh, they always have been. That's their fun.
But yeah, I thought he was nice as like the character and nice to her and like, oh, you could go run off with this doctor, and I was like, wait, you're letting her run off with some other guy?
Oh no, he didn't let her. She just did what she was gonna do.
Yeah, exactly. She's strong. That's why I think I like her the best, is because she's strong-willed like I am, and I'm the type of person, you're not gonna tell me that I can or can't do something. I'm just gonna do it. You know.
Rose was so good about doing it, but also being able to connect to people. That's what I loved about her. That was my original answer. Was I love how Rose can connect to anybody.
Right, like Mark says she's the overrated one, and Mark.
Are you sure you can't edit this to put my new answer where my old answer was?
Nope.
Darn.
It's all staying in there. Yeah, and Mark was saying Martha's an underrated character.
Martha's the most underrated companion. Why do I love Dr. Martha Jones? Martha, darn it, no, because I know you're not going to edit. I'm like, what is the correct answer?
Or I could just send it to you and you could edit it.
No. I've done my work for the week. I love everything about Martha. I think with me, it's more personal with Martha. Martha goes through the season thinking she's second best, and it's not till the end of the season that she realizes she's not second best to anyone. She's pretty darn good. And I went through a long time of feeling like I was sick. So I saw things in Martha that like I personally connected to.
Right.
Like that opening scene in Smith and Jones when she's trying to go to work and everyone in her family's calling her one by one. And she's like, hold that. She fixes people's problems and moves on to the next, and fixes their problem and moves on to the next. I kind of have that similar role. So like with Martha, a lot of it was personal.
Right. So your sidekick companion's more like her, your persona, I guess.
Yeah. She was like a character I just identified with on a lot of different levels.
Right, and I think everybody in the Doctor Who like universe, I think everybody can coincide with that. Like that's their like, oh, I like this person because it's their personal thing and stuff like that.
Yeah. Yeah. It's funny. Who people connect to, and they connect to different characters in different ways. And it's one of the great things about the companion. I love hearing why people love different companions.
Right. And I think everybody can connect with all the characters from Doctor Who universe as well. They can all connect. Everybody can connect together, and it's just a fun show altogether.
Yeah.
It's a science fiction adventure show.
It really is. It's a fun adventure.
And I just like how they end every episode, because you don't know what's gonna happen on the next episode as well. I like how they end the episodes, because you don't know what's gonna happen, because they go back to Earth or go back to wherever they stay, and then the next episode they jump into something different. I'm like, whoa.
That's the one thing I don't like about streaming it, where I still prefer watching like the Blu-ray. Is when you stream it at the end of the new ones, at the end of the episode, they'll do like the trailer for the next one.
Right.
Well, on streaming, they cut that out. And I'm like, even though I know what's coming, I still want that trailer.
Right. Yeah, I only watch it on HBO Max, so I have not seen like the trailer to it. I just click on the next episode.
Definitely check out Torchwood. And,
yeah, I will.
And definitely check out the Sarah Jane Adventures. Sarah Jane is a companion who started in 1973 and ran with two different doctors. She left the show. She had a spinoff they tried in the 80s, didn't go through. She came back in David Tennant's run, and then they gave her her own spinoff, which ran for 5 seasons until her death, the actress's death. And it's called The Sarah Jane Adventures.
Interesting. I'll have to check it out.
Where Torchwood was strictly for adults and Doctor Who was for everybody, Sarah Jane was for the kids.
Nice. I'll have to check it out.
It's a really fun adventure for kids.
So we'll have to do a Torchwood episode and a Sarah Jane episode.
I will pick a couple Torchwood episodes for you, and we will just talk about it.
All right, we'll do that. So I hope you guys enjoyed this episode of Popping the Popcorn on Doctor Who. And I hope everybody has a great night. You can find Jay at Grand Circle Tour Podcast. They have a live show every Monday night now. And they what days do your episodes come out?
Usually Wednesday, but sometimes like this week, if I'm a little busy at work, they might come out Thursday, Friday, or Saturday. I was a little busy this week, so
right.
Saturday.
So you guys can also check out Jay there, and I hope you guys enjoyed this episode.
Hey, Katie, thanks for letting me talk about just go on about Doctor Who. Listeners, if you made it to this point, thank you so much. Thank you for listening all the way, because I could just go on. If you made it to this point, get at me with #BadWolf, so I know you made it to this point.
I'll let you know if they do. Have a good night, everybody. Bye. Talk to you soon.